Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again. Thank you for joining me today, this last Monday of 2020. Basically, not even a whole week, last week of 2020. And I know lots of people out there have been dying for this day, just ready to get 2020 behind them. Obviously, I had a episode last week that addressed that, and I'm definitely not going to go back through that, but just, hopefully the new year will bring us a little bit better luck, a little bit better attitudes, and hopefully things will kind of get back to somewhat normal. And I know that everybody out there is feeling the same way, but at the end of the day, bottom line, it's still up to us to make the best of what we got. So whatever 2021 looks like for everybody, I hope that we all approach it with the best attitude we possibly can, and just try to fight every day for a positive attitude, and just try to make it the best we can. So anyway, I think with the year ending and with the new year coming, I think it's a great time to spend just a few minutes kind of looking back and looking forward, because although this has been a very challenging year, a year full of struggles, and just it's just been a hard year for everybody. I would say it's pretty safe to say that, but it's also been a great year. There's been a lot of good things, and I hope everybody can take a little time this last few days of 2020 and just look at the good things that have happened. I mean, there's lots of good things I would hope that have also happened to everybody outside of the bad. And so just to kind of take a little bit of time and be thankful and be positive myself about just my particular situation. I can't really believe the things that have went on, and it's easy to allow negativity and just a bad year seem like a bad year, and seem like it's probably even worse than it is if that's what we allow ourselves to focus on. But if you just take a few minutes and stop and think about it, so for my situation, I honestly, there's no way that I would have ever believed on January 1st, 2020, that I would be hosting a podcast, period. That's the end of the story. It doesn't matter anything in addition to that. Just the fact that I would have a podcast, there's no way that I would have ever believed you. But here I am, and I know it's still kind of growing. It's small. I've said it before, but I'm not trying to make it sound like it's some huge big deal. But it is amazing when you sit and look at, it's been downloaded, I think, in like 23 countries right now. I boxed up a package to head to Australia today. Lots of stuff to Canada. I've sent something to Germany or somewhere. I can't even remember now. I'm sorry, but it's just crazy to me. And like a lot of my guests have said that I've had on, I'm just a nobody from nowhere. I don't have a big city pedigree. I don't have a million fires under my belt. I've been an officer barely for a few years. In the big scheme of things, compared to a lot of people out there, I don't have a lot to give. So it is amazing to me that I've been able to sit down and talk to the amazing people that I've been able to talk to, create some friendships with some just outstanding people across the nation. I'm very, very blessed. I can't say enough about that. And so I'm very thankful for that. Just kind of stepping outside of my comfort zone and creating this podcast has just it has enabled me to experience a season of growth like I have not experienced and maybe ever. And so it's incredible to sit back and think about all the conversations I've had with really good guests and think about just what I have learned in those times. And I hope that sharing those conversations, there's plenty of people out there that have learned as well, because I honestly can't tell you any of those conversations I've had with any of the guests that I left without learning something, without growing in some way, without just getting better. And so I hope that by me being able to share that with others around basically the world, I hope that I can share that growth as well, because that's the truth. I have grown, I have learned, I have gotten better with every conversation, and it's crazy to me to think about where it's came. And I think March is around the first episode that I did, but it's crazy. And so that being said, I'm not limiting that just to the fire service. And this is a conversation I've had with my wife, because these things I'm doing, these extracurricular things I'm doing, the podcast and the social media, like I have discussed on some episodes, I have had a hard time really being, trying to think of the right words, really prioritizing my life, managing my time and things like that. And it's led to some issues at home. I really have to, just my personality and the way I'm built, I have to be very, very focused on where my time goes, because if I'm not, I will allow myself to just get lost, just completely get lost. And I will allow everything around me to decide how my time is managed. And so lots of conversations with my wife, and she's been very good about kind of reeling me in and patient, because I know that it's been a struggle for her to to be patient with me, and I appreciate it very much. And she knows how much this kind of these platforms, she knows that it is helpful to me, and so she wants to support me. But at the same time, I don't want it to become my priority. I don't want it to take time away from my family. So I very much appreciate a little bit of a kick in the butt when I need it, and all that. So, but as I say that, and this is what I told her, in some of these conversations, these these podcasts, the social media posts I put out, and all the stuff I've done over this year, yes, has been great for my work, life. Been great for my leadership at work, but it's also been great for my home life. I feel like I have become a better spouse, a better parent because of it. And that's the truth. I know that when I excuse me, when I put out things, or when I say things on the podcast, I know that I need to be accountable for what I say. I know that I need to be doing the stuff that I talk about, or at least trying my best. And so, that is a huge weight on me if I'm not doing very good about it. And I have struggled with that in several areas at home and work. I'll talk about certain things on here and realize that I just it is a fight for me to actually do the stuff I'm talking about. So I know that it's hard. And that being said, that accountability, that weight on me helps me to keep pushing, because I don't want to be somebody that just talks about stuff and doesn't live it. That's not me. I'm not going to do that. So if I'm going to say it, if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to try my best to do it. And so that has carried over to my, my life at home as well. I want so badly to be a better parent, be a better spouse, and so, these conversations always have ties that lead back home. And, especially the episode with Chief Viscuso, if again, I've said it before, if you haven't listened to that, do yourself a favor and listen to that episode. It's a great conversation. But, he truly inspired me to be a better parent. And, I don't know that that was the purpose at all. I don't think it was. He's just being genuine and talking about things he wanted to talk about. But it truly made me want to be better at home. And so, I feel like this platform has truly helped me to grow in all areas of my life. And I hope that there are others out there that can say the same thing. And that's really the reason I'm doing it. And and I've kind of admitted it. I'm selfishly doing this stuff because I truly enjoy having these conversations with people, like-minded people that are passionate and have a great drive for the fire service and want to make it a better place. And that's who I want to be. So that's who I want to share conversations with. And so it's it's been amazing that I've got to do that. And so yeah, I enjoy that. And that is one of the main reasons I'm doing it too, is just that I get to share those conversations. But I really hope that somebody's benefiting from this as much as I am, because I truly have. It's been a blessing to me. I'll just say that to sum it up, because I'm starting to stutter around here. But anyway, like I said, I just have. If I sit and think about it, this has been a good year. It's been a great year. And the amount of growth that I've had has been great. I have reevaluated kind of my vision for my crew and expectations and all kinds of things. I've reevaluated several times, just because I think that it's important to do so. And so I feel like I have changed a lot, grown a lot, just evolved a lot this year. And so, that's been part of it as well. Just really, really trying to keep my eyes open for areas that need to be better, areas that I can, polish things up, make things better. And so it's been awesome. I I can sit here and talk all day about how challenging it's been and how frustrating it's been and the failures that I've had, because that all that's true and all that is there. But that's not that's not what I want to do. I want to focus on the good, and I hope me kind of talking about my answers to that question will kind of spur you to sit back and think about your positives for 2020. I heard Kurt Isaacson. He had just a live Facebook, just a short. I don't know what you want to call it. It was just a live stream. It's been a week or two ago, and I just caught part of it. And he was talking about, at the end of 2019, he was basically saying that he wanted to make his family more of a priority. He wanted to, spend more time at home and not do as much traveling. And then 2020 comes around, and that's exactly what he got. He was forced to do that. He couldn't travel. He had to stay home with his family more. but then he found himself griping about that. And so, once he finally realized that he actually was handed the exact the exact thing that he was looking for out of the year, he started understanding that he needed to take advantage of that time. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. There's always better ways to look at things. You gotta really just adjust your perspective. And if you just adjust your perspective a little bit, you will find a much better way to look at the world. Start looking at those positives, and start trying to not spend so much time on the negative. So anyway, it's been a great year. I i had some ideas that kind of flowed out in some articles that I wrote, and had some of those put out in some different places. So that was really cool. Like I said, I've made some great friends, some great people around, kind of a lot of networking opportunities. I got a chance to be an instructor on a hot class with our local Fools chapter in, I believe it was October, and that was awesome. I was super nervous, but it was cool to finally take that first step and start doing some instructing. And so I really enjoyed that, and just have enjoyed this year. If I really sit down and think about it, I have struggled with being a teacher to my kids at home, but just in the past couple of weeks, I've really tried to focus on enjoying them being home, and not kind of getting hung up on being so selfish because I don't have any time to myself. We've got some things going on right now with the family that are it's a trying time right now for my family. It's we are going to really be faced with some difficulties here in the next couple of weeks or so. And so it's I know that it it's just going to be hard, and I know that some things we're facing, it's not going to be fun. It's just going to be a hard time for us. But that has also kind of helped me to realize I need to spend more time enjoying my family, spend more time being present, and just focusing on being here when I'm here. And so that kind of wraps up 2020. I am excited about this week. I I don't I don't know how it's going to go. I'm going to have some very special guests on for this Thursday's episode, and it will be very interesting. I will just say that I will be having my kids on, and I don't know who all will want to be involved, but I know there will be several. We've got 7 altogether, and there's actually an 8th that we claim him as our son. He's not our son, but we'll claim him any chance we get. So we have 8 that are around. Several of them have moved out of the house, so we don't have 8 living here, obviously, but we'll see who all wants to be involved on Thursday. But I'm sure it will be very entertaining, because there's no telling what some of those kids will say. But anyway, I think that'll be a fun time. So I think that's a good way to end out the year. And so that being said, that's kind of looking back. So looking forward, I have no idea what looking forward looks like. I had no plans of being at this point. So like I've kind of said in the past on with different conversations, I'm just trying to keep my eyes open for opportunities, and just letting this thing go where it goes, and just be open to wherever God's will takes me, because I don't know what his plan is. I never have, but I know that I know it's there, and I know that I want to be a part of it, whatever it is. So I hope that I hope that this thing keeps going. I hope that it keeps growing and getting bigger, because I think there's a great opportunity to help people with this. So I hope that we can keep this thing going all the way through the new year. As far as just anything else, my friend Justin Mann and I have been accepted to the Revolutionary Lake Fire Tactics on the Lake Conference, I think is what it's a long it's a long name, but we will be giving a 4-hour lecture in July at the Lake of the Ozarks at the conference there. And so that is a awesome opportunity. I have him to thank for it, because I wouldn't have been, I wouldn't even have put in for it, first of all, but I wouldn't have been accepted if it wasn't for him and his name and all the good things that he has done. So I appreciate him kind of spearheading me into a different chapter of my life and my career, and pulling me out of my comfort zone, because I've never done anything like this. So it's kind of nerve-wracking for me to think about doing this in front of people, but at the same time I'm very excited about it. And so just the time that we've put into it so far, kind of creating this class, has been really fun. I've just really enjoyed kind of brainstorming and laying out the foundation for this class. I'm excited to see kind of what it becomes, and we'll put it out to a few different places just to kind of polish it up before we actually go to the conference. So looking forward to that. I don't know what the rest of the year looks like. My wife and I were supposed to go to Command Officer Boot Camp last year in Pensacola, so hopefully we can do that again. But I don't know kind of what things will look like yet. But anyway, that's really it. I'm just going to try to keep going. I hope that there's a lot left for us. I hope that bigger things are coming, and just keep pushing to keep growing, keep learning, and trying my best to share some positivity with everybody out there. So that's about all I got. I hope that you all will take a time to look back at the positives about this year. You know, if you need to get out a little frustration for 2020, that's fine. I understand. But don't neglect to look back on the great things that have happened. Don't neglect to look back on the positives that came from this year. That there are some, you know, maybe you have to look a little bit harder, but they're there. And so spend a little bit of time and see what you can be grateful for 2020. And, you know, if there's way more negatives, that's fine. Then that's just more areas that we can focus on making 2021 better. So that's all I got. I hope that we can all just hit 2021 running with a great attitude, just some great passion, and just look forward to growing every day. And so, you know, as much as we can help each other out in those areas, I'm excited to see it. I look forward to who knows who all guests I will have on in the upcoming future. I hope that it will be just as incredible of a lineup as it has been this year, and just excited to keep going. So thank you very, very much for all of your time that you have spent with me listening to these shows. I appreciate it so much more than I can ever say. Thank you so much. Look forward to keeping going. Please keep listening. Share it as much as you can. You know, sit down and talk about some conversations that you find interesting. Just share. Help me share the message as much as I can. I appreciate it so much. So thank you. I hope you had a great Christmas over this last week. Hope you enjoy some time with your loved ones. I hope you have a great New Year's coming up. Be safe. We will talk to you Thursday. And until then, stay safe and take care of each other. Thank you.